The rabbis of the Mishnah always refer to Shma as Kriyat Shma, the reading of Shma. And that's because what we call Shma is 3 paragraphs from the Torah, from the book of Deuteronomy. And that's actually the simplest explanation I know for why we say the line Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto L'Olam Va'ed whispered, because that's not from the Torah, that's from the prophets. And it actually interrupts between the Shema line and the Ve'ahavta line. And so we say it quietly to sort of minimize the interruption. So Shema is the center point of both the morning and evening services. And the rabbis also refer to it as Kabbalat Ol Malchut Shemayim, the acceptance of the yoke, Y-O-K-E, of heaven, which is to say accepting God's sovereignty over the world and God's mitzvot as incumbent upon us. There's some choreography that goes with Shema. So if you're wearing a talis, which we typically do for the morning service, in the paragraph before Shema, in the Ve'ahavta, in Havarabah, when we say V'havienu l'shalom me'arba kanfot ha'aretz, when bring us together in peace from the 4 corners of the earth, we gather the 4 tzitzit, which are the 4 corners of the talis, and we wrap them around a finger. I don't know any good reason for why one finger reverses another. And this is sort of symbolic of bringing together all the different scattered parts of our lives, of gathering together all the people of Israel from around the world, of gathering all the mitzvot together. The Talmud tells us that the tzitzit represent, in the way they're tied and knotted, represent all 613 commandments. So by bringing them together, we're unifying them, or preparing ourselves. And then we get to saying the line of Shema, those 6 words. And the rabbis in the Talmud have a long debate about what parts of our davening need our kavanah, our concentration, our focus. And obviously, ideally, you'd have focus for the whole service. But when push comes to shove, the only line you really, 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 really need to focus on is those 6 words of Shema. And that's why we cover our eyes, to avoid distractions. I also learned, someplace in rabbinical school, the idea that the 6 words correspond to the 6 directions, north, south, east, west, up, down, and that you're unifying God from all those different places, from everything that surrounds us, into a single unified whole. So then we move into the Ve'ahavta paragraph in V'hayayim Shamoa, and in one place in each of those paragraphs we say, put these words as a sign on your hand and between your eyes. And so if you're wearing tefillin, which we do on weekday mornings, it's customary to touch and kiss the tefillin on your hand and then on your head between your eyes as you get to those lines. And then we get to the last paragraph about tzitzit, and every time we say that word tzitzit, you kiss your tzitzis, including at the end of the paragraph when we say Ani Adonai Elohechem, you kiss it then, and you continue to hold them together into the next paragraph until the line L'dor v'dor kayam u'shmo kayam v'chison nachon u'malchuto v'emunato la'ad kayamet. God's throne is established and correct, and God's sovereignty is eternal throughout all time. And that's the last line. Then we let go of these twisted threads. And we move on to the next part of our service.